Nice, and we're recording. How are we doing? We're all good? Excited? Show me those nods. Show me those nods. We excited? What up? Cannot wait. We do apologize. We're about 4 days overdue. We've just updated all the content. So the content in the membership site has been updated. So it's pretty much fresh. As in, Corinne has been studying. Like, well, she's been doing this for what, 4 years now. But she's just done a couple of other courses just to up the what's current in the marketplace with a couple of the people that we work with. So we've got some really good content in there on how to create viral posts, how to really connect with the audience, how to understand your audience at a deeper level. So that should be, you should be getting your access to that. Corinne, just want to check this afternoon. Is that right? Good to go? Yeah, high five. So that's very, very positive. Now, what we're doing, welcome to the 8-week challenge. This 8-week program is going to be pretty epic. We are going to be delving deep into some really cool areas. We're delving deep into Facebook. When I say deep into Facebook, some people might be going deeper with what they're currently doing. Although, and I just want to apologize. We've got a cyclone at the moment coming through. So it's quite windy here, if you hear any wind. But yeah, so delving deep into Facebook. And when I say Facebook, we're one of the biggest gaps, and I think you've heard me speak about this quite a bit, is in certain areas of what people are doing, there's gaps that cause things to fall apart. And if things aren't working a certain way, then the whole sequence of events that turns a client into somebody who's viewing you, watching you, enjoying you, to then purchasing from you, if there's kinks that are missing, that can literally ruin the whole process. I like to think of it like pearls of a necklace. If you've got 10 pearls on this necklace, and sorry about this, 10 pearls on a necklace, if one falls off, usually the whole thing just drops. And that's what it's like with a funnel. That's what it's like with our marketing. If we don't have it all sequenced, systemized, and organized in a way where by the time you get to a certain level, a person's ready to purchase, and that's the key word, is ready to purchase. And that comes through your sales conversations, that comes through your marketing, that comes through your posting, that comes through what you offer them in the process of. So, hey mate, see you, Dan. So if that isn't in flow, then what happens is people don't buy. People get confused, people get lost, and then in those places of confusion and being lost, they don't purchase. So what we're going to do over the next 8 weeks is we want to delve deep into niche. So for those who came to the event, which is most of you, we're going to give you another form, which is another level of niche, to the point where you can really zone in on your niche. Niche is literally the most important part. If we don't have niche right, we are struggling to literally be able to communicate with our clients, because like I was just having a chat with someone then just before I jumped on here, and their biggest problem they were having was they're like, I keep getting people who aren't really interested in what I have. I'm getting people who are from the wrong area, or they're talking about the wrong things, or when I speak to them, let me just open this up. When I speak to them, they can't afford it. When I speak to them, they don't have the time. When I speak to them, their belief systems are so poor that they don't believe they'll get the results which we're preaching. Now, if you're doing that, there's a reason for it, and that comes through both niche and then message to the niche. Because if you get the niche right, and then you put the right message to that niche, the right people will bleed on through into what you have, and the people who you don't want to attract, they won't even be coming near your stuff. So niche is crucial. So when you get started, I will say for all of you here, and especially for most of you, the biggest thing that is causing people not to buy is the fact that you haven't niched enough to get the right person there. Like I know Jeff and I had a really good chat about this the other day, that getting that point where when you're sitting with the person who you're about to promote your product to and be able to offer your services and be able to help them in their lives, if that person isn't aligned to what you're really good at and who you want to work with, that energy fires off, especially at an electron level in our body. It fires off and people buckle. People get lost. And the easiest way to sell somebody is through a deep connection. And that connection comes from them really trusting you. Does that make sense? So niche. High fives for niche. Everyone, high five for niche. Get niche. What are we doing? Niche. We're doing niche. Niche. First and foremost, niche. So then we want to head into, and we want to look at how we're communicating with our clients. So one of the things that Corinne does really well is she puts specific posts at specific times in order to connect with specific people. Now, keyword specific, meaning that comes from niche, though how she does that is a system. How she does that is a strategy. And when you tap into that strategy, which you're going to go through a lot of videos on how to tap into that strategy, what happens is through there, you attract people in. I'm not kidding. I've just received 3 messages and saying, hey, can I join your 8-week program? That doesn't come from my call to action. That comes from all the work that I've done for the last 6 months, being in front of people to then say, hey, I want what you have. Does that make sense? How's my internet? I just want to see, can you all hear me? I've got a lot of paused faces. Can you all hear me? Give me a nod. Yeah, cool, got you. So that comes from then the connection that we've made for 3, 6, 12 months. That doesn't come from me just putting one post, one call to action out, and then people are like, yeah, I want to buy what you have. It comes from deep connection. So your copy is crucial. At that point, when your copy is crucial and you've done the copy really well, by the time you put a Facebook ad, and this is where Jeff and I were talking about the most, is by the time you put that Facebook ad out in front of those people and in front of the right people, what's going on, beautiful Stevie? See you in the background. When you put that Facebook ad out in front of the right people, what happens is they literally become. Give me an example. What's an example of somebody like a fiend that they just want what you have? They become a fiend in that whatever you have, they're going to take it. Whatever, if you're giving something for free, if you're offering them a webinar, if you're offering them a free intro event, they're going to want it so bad because they are in that space for it. So then we're going to go copy. We're going to go Facebook. Facebook, for some people, you are delving deeper. If you're delving deeper, it's totally cool. I will say you don't need to. The fundamentals of what you need to get success on Facebook are literally having a good niche, connecting with that niche, and then putting the right copy, the right ad in front of that person. If you get the right ad, no matter how you put that ad out in front of them, as long as you've got them in that market, you're fine. And especially if you're doing your groundwork's done for the last 2, 3, 4 months. By the time you hit that, see you later. All right. Then the big part. So the big part of this 8 weeks is, for most of you, is going to be the sales component. Give me a high five if you're excited for the sales component. Give me a high five if you're excited for the sales component. I know you are. I know you're sitting there saying, I can't wait to pick up a phone. I can't wait to have a beautiful conversation with someone. I can't wait to sit in front of them after you do an intro talk. And you go, you want it, don't you? I can see you want it. I want you to be so happy with what you're doing. I want you to be so confident with what you're doing, and then so good at your language by the end of this 8 weeks that you can literally pick up the phone and just go, hey, is this Lisa? Yeah, Lisa McInerney. Yeah, how you doing? It's so great to meet you. I've noticed that you downloaded our ebook on XYZ. Noticed that you attended our live event. Noticed that you applied for the webinar that we're delivering on how to create an online business in the next 6 to 12 months. Was that you? When you get that right, oh my God, when you get that right, you are going to make some game-changing moments. So the sales component is going to be fun. I'll dedicate a couple of these webinars to the sales component more later on in the process, maybe about 3-4 weeks plus into it. Reason being is, with that sales component, if you get that sales component right, the one thing that I can promise is where we make about 90% of our money, and where the people in your industry have made about 90% of their money, is in the sale, is in that conversation, that connection that gets them to want to purchase. Does that make sense? I just had a really disgruntled call with a good friend of mine about an online business that he has created and not getting the results that he wanted to get in his online business because he was portrayed that it is really easy to do. And the problem is, with that mentality of it's easy because everybody's just going to come through my ads and buy, it doesn't exist. That's just like Jeff saying that I'm going to go do a beautiful meditation for somebody and they're going to sit in front of it, and by the end of it, they're just going to like be flicking their credit card at me, just saying, how do I buy this? I want it. It doesn't happen. We need to go through a really good conversation part. We really need to go through a connection part of being able to say this congruently, connect what you do with what they want. It has to happen. Whether you're doing it through a live event, whether you're doing it through a webinar, whether you're doing it through a phone call, there has to be a really strong element where you personally connect what they want with what you do. And if that doesn't happen, whether you're selling a picnic, whether you're selling an online water system, whether you're selling meditations, whether you're selling personal training or coaching, if that doesn't happen, people don't buy. People will not want to buy until the value in what they're buying is so strong that they have to have it. And it's so hand on heart, it has to happen. If their value in what you have isn't there, they won't buy. We're cool? So we're excited for that. I already can see it in your eyes. I am looking at you all right now. I can see it in your eyes. I can't believe how excited you are. We got John right there. John's just frothing at the mouth. I can see that, buddy. Mate, contain yourself, mate. Just, yeah, cool, calm down. Tom's like, I've been doing this for 6 months now, a year. Got it. I see it, buddy. Natalie, you're there. Cool. All right. So what we want to do, right, is let me just check anything else that I need to cover. So the 8-week program goes for 8 weeks. It goes for 8 weeks. You have 8 weeks to master this. At the end of it, we then have a 5-day event. We're going to crush it at the 5-day event. The 5-day event, we're going to go deep into our psychology. We're going to go deep into sales. We're going to go deep into videos. It's going to be big. How long do we have? 8 weeks. 8 weeks to crush this. I don't expect to have 100% of your time. What I do expect, humbly, and what I do invite you to do is to give us 100% of your commitment. With 100% of your commitment, and for some of you, you're going for the whole year. You're going for the whole year. Totally cool. It's going to be awesome. For those who are going 8 weeks, 8 weeks to crush it. For those who are going for 12 months, you've got 8 weeks to crush this level. So the next 8 weeks, we can go to another step. You agree, Corinne? That's how we roll? Yeah, I saw a nod there. All right, so 8 weeks. How long? 8 weeks. What else we got? What we want to do is, we don't really do this, but we want to make sure you guys get a really, really good kickstart. We want to jump in and have a good strategy session with each of you. So if you haven't had actually, let's just make sure everybody gets a strategy session. We can't hear you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Just want to check. Give me a nod if you can hear me. Let me put my chat box up. Lost your sound.
I can hear you now, Aaron, but we've lost video.
All right. Look, I'm not going to lie. My computer just told me that I've
lost video. I can hear you now, but I've lost video.
I apologize. My computer just told me I've got unstable emotions. And they're just not working. My emotions are just firing off on all cylinders. All right, can we hear? No video. Can you see me? All right, perfect. Yeah, so what we want to do, right, next part is we want to have a strategy session with each of you. So that means super fast talking speed. Like that's never happened. So we want to have a strategy session. So what we're going to do after this is book in a time for next week that we can catch up and have a conversation. And what I want to do is between Corinne and I, what we both want to do, what we both want to do is we want to dig into where you're currently at within a 20-minute call and then go, cool, this is where you need to start in order to get the best results. So just a heads up, make sure a note, send us a message, and we will book you in for a strategy call next week. And that strategy call is solely going, cool, what do you want to get? How are we going to get you the quickest way possible? Being that, what's your gaps? And let's fill those gaps. Make sense? Cool. So book that in. Any questions around that, let us know. And lastly, before we jump into a Q&A, is how do you access a course? So I'm going to send you, we're going to send you an email this afternoon, and that email is going to have 2 links in it. How many? 2 links. First link is going to give you access to sign into the course. Please be aware of that. You do not use that link to then access the course later. The second link, we've had so many problems with this in the past with our previous courses, and I just feel like that this one's going to work because people are going to follow the steps in the email, and it's just going to happen the way it's meant to happen. So first link is to register for the course. The second link is to access the course later. So after you register for the course, the online component, what you want to do is you want to bookmark the second link. That second link is where you have access to it. And once you're in there, over the weekend, just have a browse through it, have a look through the videos, take any notes that you want to take. You don't have to go through the whole thing, but just have a glance at the things that pop for you the most. And if something is more of a fear factor for you, as in you don't want to go down that path, or you're pushing to not go down that path, then I would even suggest going to have a look at that stuff first, just to start to train your brain. And I do say this, train your brain, train your neurology to start getting the outcomes that you want and start looking forward to doing the work that you need to do. So that's going to get sent out this afternoon, later on this afternoon. Keep your eye out for that. If you have any questions, you feel free to ask any questions. Otherwise, we're good to go. Each week, we're going to have a call, and that call is where we're going to really dig into what you need to get done in order to have things done. It's going to be a lot less of us speaking and more of getting questions of where you're at. No question's a stupid question, but making sure we get questions with where you're at, so we can really make sure that you capitalize as much as you can over the next 8 weeks. We cool with that? The more questions, the better. So outside of that, do we have any questions around where you're at now and what you need in order to, I was about to say kick ass, but I said it, do really well over the next 8 weeks? Let's open it up. We've got Corinne here. She's in love with answering questions. What we got?
I have a question.
Yes.
My situation at the this is my situation at the moment, and I don't know if other people are in the same boat. So maybe it's something for everyone. Maybe it's something for my individual call. But I currently have 2 Facebook pages, 2 Instagram pages. Am I better off combining them? Am I better off, like, before we get started? Or is this something where, like, I'm just sort of, now I've got those 4 different things, somewhat related but still somewhat separate. It's kind of a bit like having a split personality.
Yeah. What's your biggest focus over the next 12 months? Are you making money or building your brand? What's your focus?
I'm going to say building my brand.
Okay. And
is probably going to be, and my brand is very much in the health focus and around mindset for health.
Okay. Corinne, did you want to answer that?
Yeah, you go ahead first, and then I'll.
What I would suggest is looking at what's going to be the best avenue, and this is probably more for the call, but what's going to be the best avenue to get you there the quickest possible. And sometimes it is, streamlining what you're currently doing with only one thing, and then getting that to the point where it's building and making you money. And then you can come back and leverage off that to build more. It comes down to probably this is for the core. If anyone else is going through something like this, it's just looking at where your target market is, so you're not spending too much everywhere or too little across a big platform and spending a little bit more on one. And if you get that right, and that can make you then build your brand and make some sales in the back end of that, then at least then you can use that to then do more. Corinne, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that was spot on, because often what happens is we have spread our focus and then you don't do anything really well. So if you find out exactly who your target market is and what social media channel their preference is, that's where you put your time and efforts. And the other one is nice to have. So that could be a part of your strategy for the second half of the year, or maybe even next year, but you can still post occasionally on there.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're going to get most of it, let's say it's 45 to 50-year-old women, they're predominantly on Facebook as opposed to Instagram, but a 25 to 35 would be on Instagram.
Right.
So just depending on who your target audience is and whatever that channel is, then that's the one that I would really, really focus on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the same, we'll talk a little bit more throughout the course about the benefits of a business page and a personal page and how you should utilize them as part of your strategy.
Yeah.
Cool. Because I've got 4 business ones and then 1 personal, so it's
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What am I doing?
Yeah. Okay. I think we'll probably have a chat about that when we do our strategy session with you.
And get really zoned in over the weekend over your target market for the main one you want to build out now, and that would be a good focal point. Same with Kelly.
Cool.
Kelly's got 2 things going at the moment. It's about going, cool, well, which one's going to bring freedom quicker or bring your outcome to you quicker? And utilize that first and then start to build the other one around it. What else we got, Tribe? questions we have? Jeff, you got to have some questions up there. Not all at once. If you all got once, we can't hear everyone. So we just do one at a time.
Maybe once they, so Aaron, maybe once they go start on the course, there'll be a lot of questions come up then.
Yeah.
So I think the recommendation would be, for now, any questions that you do have, just start writing them down. So when we have the strategy session with you, you've got those questions there and we can get them answered, as well as there'll be opportunities throughout the course to ask your questions and get them answered as well.
Yeah. Cool.
I do have one admin question, Aaron.
Where are you at? I hear your voice now. Yes.
Yeah. Just in my planning my each day and each week, are the weekly sessions going to be like similar to this at a set time on a set day, or are they always changed?
Yes. Corinne, just to confirm, was it Wednesday lunchtime?
Yep, Wednesday lunchtime.
Yep, Wednesday lunchtime.
Okay, that's terrific. Yeah, that's good. So I can maximize my hours. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Oh, planning. Corinne, you hear that? Planning.
Yay, I love it. I love it.
And legend. This legend, that's me.
Yeah, nice. What else we got? Anything else before we kick off and we get stuck into it? Before we get super excited?
Can I make a suggestion to everyone?
Yeah, please.
That since Natalie, you're looking at your planning, my suggestion would be that you book in, half an hour a day to get your posts up and running, but book time now into your schedule to go through the course. So if you plan an hour a day or smash, quite a lot of it out over the weekend, whatever it is, start planning that so you consistently do it, because social media is all about consistency. And that's the most important thing. Yeah. So work out when you're going to set time aside to do this course.
Yeah,
because we really want you to get results.
Yeah, I post consistently three times a day, Monday to Friday, and twice a week on my Facebook page on the weekends. So that's pretty well set in concrete now. It's just a habit now.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet. Everyone else, jump on the same bandwagon. That's right, Tom. I see you there. All right, then if that's all the questions we have, so it's going to be a really good, it's not going to be a huge, massively big 8 weeks, although it could be if you choose to. So enjoy the next 8 weeks. Let's go nuts. We've got the event at the end of it where we can have a really good emotional party. Just remember, this just takes a work. It's key work. If we do the key work, if we follow the key strategies, and if you implement on all levels, results, they just flow. Results will flow. If you want to go deeper, if we're waking up in the morning and we've got our focus on point, if we're aligned to our intention and we're moving towards our intention and what's important to us, your body will do the work. Your body will make sure that the part that runs the 95, 98% of your day, it will make sure you do what you need to do in order to get it done. So just make sure we're aligned. Make sure any emotions that come up, just be aware of them. Anything that you feel is stopping you. The cool thing about what we do, which is different to most, is we can deal with both the business side, the sales side, the marketing side, but we also deal with the emotional side. So if you're feeling like you're not on point, you're in the perfect place. It's just a matter of going, we're all here to get an outcome. We're all here to help each other. We're all here to evolve together. Let's just make sure that happens and we're moving in the right direction. We're cool? Any questions, write them down, get them noted, get stuck into the course, get stuck into it. If you want to go, just one other heads up with the course too. If you're someone who wants to really smash that course out in a week, 2 weeks, you can. I know there's certain personality types that like they get stuck into things. They'll watch it once the whole way through and then they'll go back through it and then they'll start to implement as they go through. But if you're someone who wants to spread it out, you can spread this out over 8 weeks and you can do the work over a good 8-week period in order to just slowly implement what you need to implement. Depending on who you are and depending how you roll, it's totally cool. But again, we'll suss that out on the phone call next week. All right? Cool. Cool. Big fives. See you in a couple of days. Speak to you in a couple of days. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy going through the content. Enjoy hearing Corinne's voice. She's absolutely amazing when she speaks. Not gonna lie. I was listening to it last night. Put me to sleep. I was like, yeah. No, you're gonna love it. The content in the course is absolutely amazing. It's really good. It's really on point. It's now current, so we've just had to redo most of it just to make sure it was current from the sales perspectives, from the Facebook's perspective, and copy. So enjoy it, love it, live it, do what you need to do, and let's get it done. Cool? High fives. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll speak to you next week. Enjoy. Bye-bay. See your faces one more time. We got it.